Hello, welcome to Mina's bookshelf. Today I would like to show you a new oracle deck. It's an astrology themed oracle deck just published by US Games, and it's from the same creator of the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. This is the borderless miniature edition that US Games published a couple of months ago, I believe. Very popular deck. It's been out for many years, and it's quite unique. At least it was one of the very first ones to be created in this particular art style, inspired to tattoo art. The creator is, and I apologize if I don't pronounce the name correctly, 8 Elian James Showell. Thank you so much, US Games, for providing me with a review copy of the deck. Thank you for keeping me in the loop. Beautiful presentation, beautiful packaging. I love the chromatic combination of colors of this deck. A lot of jewel tones, beautiful turquoise, oranges, yellows, and reds and greens. Really pretty. This is the box, the back of the box. If you want to take a look at the preview of the cards and a few words about the deck itself. It's a 41 card deck and guidebook with symbols of the planets and the zodiac signs all around the box. It's a 2-part hard box. Really nice. I really love the color combination. Very bold, very powerful. The lining of the box inside is black, turquoise, reds and yellows are the themes, chromatic themes of the deck. This is the beautiful high quality guidebook, silky cardstock paper, glossy pages, quite thick, not a flimsy book for sure. And then we have the deck inside that is edged in this matte black. These are the backs. This is the typical US Games cardstock, thin and flexible but resilient with a little bit of a coating. There's a little bit of a reflection. There's a sheen, but they're not completely glossy. The cards are housed in this beautiful cradle here, pretty sturdy with a ribbon and this very nice design inside. I love the combination of these two colors. Love it. Okay, let's take a look at the guidebook to begin with, and then we will go through the cards. I do own a few astrological oracle decks, and I have to say this one that doesn't differ from the usual pattern, in the sense that the cards are divided in 3 main categories. We have the we have the signs, we have the planets, and we have the houses. This deck features also a few cards for the moon phases. So what I appreciate about this book, and that the pages are lightly color coded here to make it easy for you to find the right chapter. We begin with the usual introduction, dedication, and thank you pages, information about the artist, a multidisciplinary artist, tattoo artist, tattoo reader, tarot reader, painter, and graphic designer. A few words about the mission statement of the deck from the author, and the rules. The main rule, maybe the only one, is that there are no rules. You can actually read the deck dividing you can read these cards, dividing the cards in the 3 main groups. So you can do your reading pulling a card from the signs, a card from the planets, and a card from the houses. Or you can shuffle them all together and just pull 1 card at a time, depending on your need and your queries, just to read what is the main energy or where you need to focus your attention. My favorite way to read these cards is to keep the groups separate, so that I can pull 1 card from the planets just to get an idea of the planet will represent the what, the sign represents the how, and the house represents the where, in the sense that the planet represents the main energy, the sign represents the way in which this main energy is modified somehow by the planetary placement, and the house represents also the area of the life that this planetary influence is most prominent in. Suggestions for spread: you can do the single moon pull. If you're looking for guidance on moving forward with a project, you can pull one card from the lunar phases. My favorite way to read with this card is the Sun, House, and Planet spread. If you're looking to gain a wider perspective on an issue or on the people, timeline, and archetypal energy surrounding it, this 3-card spread can be helpful, insightful. And then a combination of oracle cards and tarot cards for larger spreads. These cards could be also, used in the more like educational, informational way, in the sense that you can learn a lot from the card itself about the birth chart. The cards help you visualize the birth chart and get a nice immediate look at the placements of the planets within the chart. The book features beautiful full-page, full-color pictures for each of the signs. So we have the sign, we have the time frame, the element that is associated with it, the ruling planet, the home, the house, so to speak, that this sign is associated with, and the symbol. The same goes also for the planets. Also, actually, for the houses. First house, for example, is a house of self, associated with Aries and Mars. Second house, house of money, material pleasure, associated with Taurus and Venus, and etc., etc. And then the planets and the lunar phases. And a few blank pages for notes. So really nice book, really like it. Informative, not too wordy, loaded with important information, but in a very streamlined way, which makes it easier and even more pleasant to, refer to the book when you do your readings, especially if you don't have a lot of time on your hands for the interpretation of the cards. So let's take a look at the deck. These are the backs. Very dark muted colors, but you can still see that there's a pattern when I move the cards this way. I kept the cards in order in the sense that the planets and signs and houses and lunar phases are still separate, but I might have had them in a different order because I used them a couple of times. Okay, let's begin with the signs. Now, a lot of tarot readers include some astrological interpretation in the interpretation of the tarot spread, for example. I like to associate these cards, the oracle cards, to regular tarot cards in a reading. And I'm not by all means an expert of astrology, but I'm familiar with the fundamental knowledge of the astrological signs and houses and planets. Now, if you are not, I have to say that there's something in the artwork of each of these cards that might help you with the interpretation. There's guidance in the artwork itself. There are things that will help you understand what's the energy, what's the theme of the card. So we have Cancer, and we have the symbol of the sign. We have this black banner and nice words in white, very easy to read. Amazing colors, I have to say. This is Aries. The fiery energy of the sign is evident in here. with all these deep yellows and reds. Taurus, symbol of fertility, with all these flowers and abundance and prosperity and attachment to material things. The symbol of the sign. We have Gemini, the duality of the sign. Leo, Virgo, one of my favorite, I love this one. Libra, Scorpio, very high priestess, you know, with this veil representing mystery. The all-seeing eye here in the middle, great intuition, typical of this sign. Sagittarius, the traveler of the zodiac. Capricorn, the inclusion of the symbol, and you will notice the same thing also for the houses and the planets, is so organic with the rest of the artwork that at first glance I didn't even notice it the first time that I went through the cards. Love this card. I'm particularly fond of these colors. Pisces. The cards are nice and borderless. They're not your typical oracle deck size. They're closer to a tarot deck size. Let me compare them to a card. This is the Veleda Woods Tarot. It's an indie deck, but it's pretty standard when it comes to size. So the oracle cards here are slightly taller and slightly wider than a regular tarot deck, so very easy to manage. So we are in the houses now. So the houses represent the area of the house that might be affected by the planetary influences of planets and signs. So we have the first house, the house of self. We might follow with the guidebook here just to get a reminder of what each of the houses stands for. So the house of self associated with Aries and Mars. The first house rules your sense of self and your identity. Then we have the second house. See how the number of the house is included in a very organic way in the artwork. This is beautiful. The second house is the house of money and material pleasures associated with Taurus and Venus. And we have the third house. Third house is the house of communication associated with Gemini and Mercury. Oversees our communication and self-expression, specifically in relationship with people and places close to us. Then we have the fourth house, ruled by, associated with Cancer and the Moon, house of home and family. And as I said before, even if you're not really familiar with the astrological connections and energies and references, you can tell there's a nest, there's the eggs, there's the heart, there's the house. Then we have the fifth house. The fifth house is the house of creativity and pleasure associated with Leo and the Sun. It governs our deepest passions, pleasures, and creativity. Then we have the sixth house, house of health, service, and routine associated with Virgo and Saturn. The seventh house, as you could tell from the hand fastening, is the house of partnership and relationships. The house of love rules over our partnerships and relationships with others. Beautiful card. The eighth house House of Death, Rebirth, and Transformation, associated with Scorpio and Pluto. The ninth house, House of Learning and Trap, associated with Sagittarius and Jupiter. The 10th house, with this trophy-looking cup. It's in fact the House of Goals, Awards, and Achievements, associated with Capricorn and Saturn. See how the number 10, you can barely see it unless you pay very close attention. You don't even know it's there. So I think it's a nice touch. It's very cleverly done. The 11th house, House of Community, Friendship, and Hope, associated with Aquarius and Uranus. The 12th house, House of Secrets and Shadows, associated with Pisces and Neptunes. And then we are in the planets. We have Venus, Mercury. See how the symbol of the planet is part of the artwork, and it almost blends in. At first sight, I didn't even realize that these symbols were there, but they're also here in the banner. Mars, very martial card. The Sun, amazingly dark card. I don't know why it's so muted. I was expecting more oranges and more yellows from the Sun card. Pluto, Uranus, with these lightnings here. This is the card featured on the guidebook. Neptune, beautiful. Saturn, hard work and life lessons, with these mountains here and the steps. Jupiter, planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. And then we have the cards with the lunar phases. The new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. Now these cards do not feature any keywords that might help you with interpretation of the card, but you can find in the guidebook. For example, waxing gibbous, the energy of this lunar phase is building and making. The waxing gibbous is a time for building your reality and taking action towards the goals you have set. And there's about a page for each of the lunar phases, and a page also for the planets, and a little more for the actual signs. Okay. So one way to use these cards would be, of course, to shuffle the cards all together and pull a card to use in as a standalone if you're asking about the energy of a person, of a situation, or mixing, shuffling only the cards, separating the different categories, pulling one from each of them, which is the way I normally like to use astrological oracle decks. So I would always pull the planet first. Let's say where is it? The planets are here. Let's say Neptune. I will pull the planet first as the primary energy of the situation, a card from the signs to help me understand how this energy is modified by the energy of the sign. So we have Scorpio, Neptune, and a house to understand which area of life is primarily affected by this planetary influence here. So So we have Neptune in Scorpio within the 4th house. So let's see how this combination reads from the book. So this represents the what, the how, and the where. So Neptune, easy to find. Neptune is ruler of Pisces, at home in the 12th house. The planet Neptune represents the archetypal energy of illusion and mystery. Neptune is a slow spiral of time and energy. Things shape, shift, and change as they get sucked into Neptune's whirlpool. This planet draws from imagination and exists strongest within our dreams. So it's all about the subconscious. It's about our dreams. It's about intuition. Those who embody Neptune can feel surreal and dreamy. They may not seem grounded in reality, as they're often washed away in a land of psychedelics, art, poetry, occult magic, and maybe even addiction. This dream world can feel magical, but it can become a nightmare if left unexamined for too long. If you pull this card, check your mental and emotional space to ensure you're feeling grounded. Enjoy your daydreams, but make sure you aren't using them to escape reality. When Neptune is around, things will not always be as they appear. Be sure you know how to swim before jumping into dark waters. And with this association with Scorpio, the energy of your power of intuition and your dreams and what lays under the surface is very, very strong, because with the energy of Scorpio, element of water, ruling planet Pluto, home 8th house, symbol Scorpion. Scorpio is the 8th season of the zodiac and the 2nd sign of autumn. Summer is gone and winter is coming. Grief and change are all around us as we're forced to let go and welcome the cold darkness ahead. The once green leaves are changed, dried and fallen. The long sunlit evenings of summer are only a memory. The sky is dark and it's only getting darker. Scorpio season is a season of deep, intense and powerful transformation. A tidal wave of a raging river wiping away the old to make space for the new. Themes of death, rebirth, grief and change echo through the shadow that this season embodies. So there is something pretty powerful, deep and intense happening beneath the surface. So this is probably a spread that invites you to seek for the truth, taking a deep look within, inviting you to do some deep introspection. In which area of your life, your connection with your house, with your home, with your family, with this 4th house here featured in the card. Let's see. The house of home and family. The 4th house rules over our home and family life. It governs housing, relationships with those we live in, domestic responsibilities, and parent-child relationships. Some of the things we hold nearest and dearest to our hearts are located in this house. This is where we protect and hold our most sacred and valuable possessions and relationships. The 4th house reminds us to consider how we grew up and how the lessons we learned from our parents may be reappearing in adult lives. When this card shows up in your reading, look to your home life and family first. Family can be those we are related to by blood or those we choose along our path of life. Who are the people and places that make you feel most comfortable? What do you need to feel a little more at home? So if I had to do a reading about somebody, let's pretend this was actually a question by one of my clients. I will probably start with this spread of the oracle cards to see where they need to focus your attention. There's something going on in their family environment, in their home environment, or whatever they consider their roots, their family, because there's something that is kind of brewing under the surface. It's quite mysterious. It requires attention because it's something deep that probably is not coming up to the surface. Another thing that I would do to work with this deck for client readings or myself, I would probably go a little deeper in the reading using a tarot deck. And the ones that I would like to show you are the actual tattoo, Acorns Tattoo Tarot, created by the same artist. And this is a great size because it's a miniature. Actually, it's not just one of those tarot in a 10. They're even smaller than these, but the size of these cards serves our purpose because we can lay them on top of the oracle cards and still have a good view of what is underneath. So we might want to clarify, what is this energy talking about? What particular events and situations and people might this energy be affecting? So let's pull a card for each of them just to clarify what this Neptune, Scorpio, and fourth house energy are. We have the Star card that came out in reverse, and this is about things hidden in the dark, not coming to the surface, not being out in the light, in the open. So something that is going on under the surface. We have the Moon card in reverse, Scorpio. So there are secrets here. There's something you're not aware of, and you need, let's say in a pretend reading here, I'm just pretending I'm doing a reading for somebody. You might want to take a look at the people around you, in your home environment, in your family environment, because there might be something going on you're not aware of. Now, if somebody is intentionally hiding this from you, this is something you need to find out, and the reasons why certain things are hidden. Another card in reverse, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So there's a need for you. There's something that you're not seeing. The cards are out of focus. So there's something you're not seeing. As I said, in your family environment, something is going on, quite mysterious. Somebody might be omitting the truth, hiding the truth on purpose. So this is how I would use this deck. Another way to combine this deck with a tarot deck would be by shuffling all the cards together. I was completely out of focus for a moment. So the other way would be to shuffle the cards all together, and I'm going to give these cards a good shuffle because they were still in order or almost in order. So I would probably pull just one card to read the energy of the current circumstances for somebody who would like to have a personal reading. We have Mercury, something about communication and self-expression. And then I would probably take a tarot deck. In this case, I choose the Veleda Woods Tarot because with this vectographic, very colorful art style, even if it's a botanical deck, not an astrological one, I think it would be a great combination, a great pairing for this deck. This deck, unfortunately, is out of print, but it's the deck in my collection that I think matches this one aesthetically better than any others. Okay, so what I would do, I would pull a couple of cards from the tarot to understand what about communication here represented by the planet of communication. I need to know. Three of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Devil. Okay, I do believe that this might be communication with a loved one. The Six of Cups might represent kids, might represent your family, might represent friends, might represent people from your, let's say, your home environment. And I feel like this reading is actually reconnecting with the one I have done before. And there are situations here with the Devil and the Three of Swords that might be quite concerning. And maybe in this home environment there is something going on and you might need to have a clear conversation about it with the Mercury card. Okay, so this was the combination with the Veleda Woods Tarot and with the Acorns Tattoo Tarot. Okay, I think this is all for right now. This was a walkthrough and thoughts about the 8 Coins Astrology Oracle. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section how you like this deck. How would you like to how would you use it? Would you like me to see it featured more often in my general readings? Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget I'm available for personal readings, so you can book one contacting me at the email address you will find in the description of every video. And until I see you next time, many blessings. Thank you for watching.